welcome to another episode of the Always Be Testing podcast. I'm your host, Ty DeGrange, and I'm really excited today to talk to Cristy Garcia. Hi, Cristy. How are you?
Hi, Ty. I'm doing well. How are you? It's so exciting to be here.
Thank you. I'm excited to have you. We've had such great conversations over the years, and happy Friday.
Yes, indeed.
You're just saying it's a short week, so
Short
I
but a
feel.
long week at the same time. However that happens.
Ah, I think I would have to agree with you. A short and long week.
Yes.
Um, so Cristy is the CMO of Impact.com, just a great practitioner in marketing, in SaaS B2B, very knowledgeable in the partner marketing space, the affiliate marketing space. So I'm really excited to dive in with you and share a lot of learnings, and it'll be a good one.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Cristy, maybe to start off, give us a little background on, what inspired you to join Impact?
Yeah, so funny story. I was actually the head of a competitor, head of marketing for a competitor at about 9 years ago. So when Impact.com first came on the scene, they were known as Impact Radius. And I was studying them from a competitive landscape point of view. And boy, was I concerned. They had an innovative platform. It was brand new. They were a challenge to the business, but also to the business model because they are not a network, right? So I learned about them while at this competitor and was also, a little concerned about them because I know, their platform was so superior. But I ended up leaving this space for about a year and a half and I went into ad tech. Then I got a phone call from a sales leader that I had worked with at the competitor who had just joined Impact. And he said, "You have to come." And he told me about the business and he told me about the marketing team and sort of how they're interfacing with sales and how they need more alignment. So I was very excited to come. And as soon as I started talking to some people there, I felt like I really clicked, especially with Dave, the CEO, and I felt really connected to the business. But I did not join as CMO. So I started as a senior director and worked my way up in the company.
That's amazing. I love that story. Very cool. Especially like working your way up and getting, you know, promoted from within. That's it's not always easy to do. Tip of the
No,
cap to you.
no, it's not. But
Yeah,
great experience so far.
absolutely. What are you most excited about right now?
So I'm a data junkie. We stood up a research arm on the marketing team to be able to do our first party data stories and create ebooks and research projects. So we have three new pieces coming out. One we're working on with a third party along the lines of the new customer journey. The other we're working on internally, talking about the convergence of affiliate and influencer, which I know you know a lot about, Ty. Like it's just this very common topic that arises in conversations about affiliate marketing and where it's headed. So we're doing a white paper. Do companies actually see success when they kind of join these strategies together? What are they? What is the lift there? How can you do this? So we're putting that together. And then the last one's on affiliate incrementality. Like how do you judge your program? How do you look at things a little differently to be able to prove the value of the channel and the partners that you're working with? So excited about that. But I'm most excited about our big event, which is taking place next June. Every June we have an event called IPX, which I know you've been at, but next year we're taking it to Austin. And there will be about 2 times the amount of people as the last event. So we're looking for around 1,400 people, 3 different stages, and we're definitely going to blow out the event compared to prior years. So very excited about that.
Love it.
See you there.
That's amazing. I would absolutely share in your excitement on all fronts. Not to just wholeheartedly agree with you on everything, but there's so much to agree on. Um, Coming to Austin, my town, I cannot wait to see the convergence of influencer and affiliate, that value, which is absolutely what we are preaching as well, for lack of a better term. So I'm excited to see that, and especially the data. It's always near and dear to our team's heart too.
It's important to have something to back up what you say. So
Yeah, 100%. Kind of a good segue, right? We talk about this a lot. Brands are just needing to no longer rely on their own message. Those that are tapping into creators, influencers, affiliates, partners, those authentic voices are just winning. The data is backing it up. Um, we're leaning into that. Obviously, you are most certainly. Tell us more, maybe how Impact and your team's thinking about that.
Yeah. So through our customer base and through the research that we're putting together and have seen, um, brands are building deeper connections through partnerships than they are through their own methods, right? They're able to engage more authentically with their audiences. They can scale their growth. The simple truth is brands no longer have any control over their messaging, and especially the messaging that matters. They don't trust ads. They're going to their review sites. They're going to their creators that they follow. They're going to these big, media publications that talk about, the top 10 listicles and things like that, but they are not paying attention to ads. And so I think, we're moving into an era where consumers are like firmly in the driver's seat. And they're calling the shots on how they want to be contacted, how they want to be engaged with, how they want to be sold to. Our own research that we've done in past quarters has shown that 64% of consumers repeatedly make purchases based on influencer recommendations. So it's crucial
Hmm.
that brands tap into partnerships and adjust their marketing strategies in order to meet today's modern buyer where they are, which is, like I mentioned, across all these other websites, not your brand website and not looking at your ads.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What are some client maybe examples that you've grasped onto you think are kind of impressive to share with the audience?
Yeah, so we have a lot of different ways our customers are found success through partnerships, especially by diversifying their partnership mix or incorporating their influencer and creator partnerships into their overall marketing strategy. Barbecue Guys is an online barbecue grill retailer, and they needed a solution that would help them build brand awareness and reach new customers. So they spearheaded a campaign leveraging influencers and creators. They doubled their engagement rate just by working with them. There's other companies that we've worked with that were already working with, affiliates, but they realized that they needed to bring influencers into their program. So an example of that would be a company called Ivory Ella. They actually went around to college campuses and found ambassadors that could help drive awareness of the charity which they have, which is giving back to research that saves the elephants, Ivory Ella, right? So they give 10% of their profits to this charity, and they wanted to drive a lot of awareness about that and reach new customers. So they started talking to ambassadors and used college students as influencers. So I think there's plenty of examples of creative ways to do it, but I think companies that aren't currently working in that way are behind the curve, and
Yeah,
need to catch up.
I completely agree. And I this is something that I think some brands are also tapping into. You kind of alluded to it in the last piece with Ivory and Ella around the creativity. I think there's so much to be desired around brands' ability to use creator, use influencer, use affiliate as a brand building mechanism, which is doesn't get talked about a lot. It's not really, we don't necessarily start with that, right? But it's such a possibility with the right brands. It requires significant investment. There's time and effort, but obviously we've seen it firsthand. So I love that
Yeah.
call out that you shared.
Nothing worth doing is easy, right? If it's not a plug and play coin operated system like some of the other marketing channels, but you're right about the time investment and the financial investment that's needed. But you get it back in spades if done right.
Yeah,
So
love it. Love it. Obviously, myself, the Roundbarnlabs team is a huge proponent of the Impact platform. You've seen great success as a SaaS platform. All great businesses, have their challenges. Obviously, what are some of the things that you and the team are trying to unblock and improve and work to improve on?
yeah, so there's challenges for sure. One of the challenges is we're kind of launching new products. So last year we launched a product called Creator, which is our influencer marketing platform, and just recently we announced Advocate, which is a customer referral platform. So what we're trying to do is have our clients, instead of using these disparate systems and platforms, to be able to have all of this consolidated in one place. So you could leverage your customers, affiliates, influencers, other businesses, content publishers, media, all of that can be found through the platform now. But like any other business that's launching a product, it is incredibly hard to drive adoption at first. It's awareness of, among your customer base, awareness among the industry. And for so long, we've sort of held the title of, leading affiliate platform, but people don't know us as an influencer marketing platform, and people certainly don't know us as a customer referral platform. So getting the word out, educating, driving adoption about those new products and the ability that they yield for brands, right? The value that all of these things coming together under one roof can provide. So just getting the word out is the challenge right now.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And as the practitioners and the team um, get our arms around it together, it's exciting to see it all in one place. In particular, from the data and the impact perspective, and all those reasons. So it makes a ton of sense, and anything that's new. But it's certainly thrilling to be able to launch something and unite it with your other product lines, which is exciting.
It's been very exciting for us. So yeah,
Yeah,
we're happy.
you know. You've risen through the ranks. You've gotten to the CMO role. It's not an easy role. Everyone knows in the marketing and performance marketing realm. What drew you to it? What keeps you going when times are challenging?
Yeah, it's a great question. I have been a lifelong marketer. I've never done anything else professionally. So I always wanted to be a CMO. That was the way that I could challenge myself. To me, that was the top. That's where I wanted to get. I had been a VP of marketing at 2 other companies before joining Impact.com. I did not want to stay at a VP level. And fortunately, like, they saw the value in me and in this role. And I'm
Nice.
very grateful for that. But what keeps me going, frankly, is the fact that I learned a long time ago that you're simply borrowing your title, right? It belongs to the company. It doesn't belong to me. And that tells me a couple of things. One, there are plenty of people coming for my job, right? You got to try, you always got to show you're 100% every single day. You got to show up, you got to continue learning, continue innovating, continue experimenting, and continue driving an internal PR campaign about the value marketing is bringing to the business. But it also tells me that I'm not just a CMO. I'm also a mom. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. And it
Hmm.
helps keep me balanced, knowing that this is, number one, I'm borrowing the title, so I got to work hard, but also it doesn't define me. And there are other elements of my life that I need to spend time
Wow. Well, that's just a mic drop, thoughtful answer in my opinion, and
Thank you.
I think it's just so motivating for anyone listening to you and to how you approach it in such a it's a humility, and it's a cool way to think about your professional career, and also try to balance that. The mom title is a a powerful one, and maybe the most important of all. And I think I'm always amazed and impressed how women and moms are able to juggle dueling those. Obviously, I witness it with my wife and our
Sure.
collaboration and raising two little ones, so I can appreciate some of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big job too.
Yeah. And I love that you're kind of thinking of it as like, hey, this is borrowed is a cool reference I haven't heard before, and I think it's so it rings true. It's a great way to think about it.
Thanks.
Um, SaaS is its own unique beast. You've definitely had some great learnings and reps, and obviously it's a huge theme of the pod of the learnings. Um, when you see it work well with marketing, performance marketing, positioning of SaaS in a challenging ecosystem or competitive market, what have you seen work well in your experience as VP of marketing, as CMO in the SaaS vertical? Like, how is it kind of unique and different for people thinking about SaaS, differently, and what maybe has worked and what hasn't in your view?
Yeah, so I think it is interesting because we consider ourselves a marketplace in addition to a SaaS play, right? And that can be a
Yep.
tough combination to explain quickly to someone who's
Mm.
unfamiliar with affiliate marketing. They get SaaS, right? They might get marketplace, but they don't understand how the two meet. And so I think some of the work that we've done has kind of been around this, what we call category creation of partnerships. So we have been in the affiliate marketing space. The company has been in the affiliate marketing space since they launched. That was the core platform. It still is. And I think for a long time, there's been a connotation around affiliate marketing, and I tried to dispel all the myths when I've, been a VP of marketing at other companies. And even to this day, trying to dispel some of the myths and the longstanding notions that may exist around affiliate marketing. But what we wanted to do was reach people without having those terms putting us in a box. People think of coupons and cashback and loyalty, which is the primary maybe business model, perhaps in affiliate marketing, but it's not the only one. And so we kind of grasped onto this word partnerships, and we introduced this concept to new audiences that maybe had looked down on the channel before, or maybe hadn't considered that this is a great way to drive growth. And we came out with a piece called, affiliate marketing is dead, which did not make the industry very happy. And so we got a lot of flack from that. But our goal in saying that was that affiliate had expanded beyond just this traditional coupon and cashback loyalty site. And what's interesting is within a year or two, the entire industry adopted the term partnerships. Even some of the longstanding names of events have changed to partners or partnerships outside of affiliate marketing. So I think part of positioning anything is really understanding your audience and getting into like the blue ocean, trying to find the white space. And sometimes you have to position the company differently to different audiences. I've seen that work for us, and I've seen some others that have tried to do it and not worked so well. So I think it really has to do with understanding your audience and getting your whole company involved in the positioning and getting them excited about that.
Yeah, I definitely, there's been some great learnings over the years, and that's a great call out for folks in the SaaS marketing space and thinking about how to stand out. And I commend, yeah, I think you have to have a degree of risk taking and bold. You're thoughtful about it. But you are, when you're category creating and you're kind of changing hearts and minds, it's not an easy task. And so I commend you and the team for taking the stand and being bold. And it's never done, as you know, but I think you've certainly done that in spades. So it's a good learning for people in marketing and in SaaS marketing specifically, which I think is super interesting.
Yeah, thank you.
In just elaborating on that, were there the learnings that you shared? Have you seen kind of anything in your marketing of campaigns throughout your career that is kind of like an aha or a experiment or campaign or a learning that's kind of like bubbles up for you? That's like, wow, that's a learning that I think is worthy to share. It doesn't have to necessarily be proprietary, but
Yeah.
one that maybe just stands out to you, or maybe one that's kind of interesting in your mind.
Yeah, I'll be vulnerable here and admit that I had a learning through a mistake that I made. But those are sometimes the best learnings that you have. So when I
Totally.
first became VP of marketing, I sort of took over certain departments, and there was some churn and different people kind of moving out of the marketing team and so on. And we lost part of our demand gen team, specifically the team the individual who worked on SEO and the individual who worked on paid search. So we didn't have resources. So we had to decide, where do we focus? And because no one on the team felt confident in their ability at the time for paid search, and we didn't have headcount, I said, turn it off. Just turn it off. Pause the campaigns. We'll come back to it when we have somebody. Boy, did I learn. All of our channels tanked. Organic traffic tanked. Everything tanked.
Wow.
Because what we had seen was paid search is not always the winning channel, but it's always part of the journey. And so when that one touch point is missing, the other touch points don't happen. And our numbers came down. I couldn't believe how fast it happened. So my
Wow.
learning is not to turn off channels, and if you want to do testing around incrementality, just segment versus turn off. And I think most other marketers would be like, yeah, that's an obvious one. But for me, when you didn't have a choice, you expected, a little bit of a drop here. But to see how drastically things dropped was really interesting. So your channels are connected, your messages are connected, and your touch points matter, is sort of the learnings that I had.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
big for me.
And I think that's a great call out to the importance of those channels interacting and assisting each other, which is totally appropriate and to what we preach and educate clients
Absolutely.
on in our vertical. So that's a great learning.
Yeah.
Um, is there a moment in your career you felt was kind of pivotal or like a sliding door moment for you that you want to share?
Yeah, so it actually happened through, again, another mistake, I'd say, which ended up being the best mistake that I've made, which is to join a company that I sort of was hesitant in joining in the first place. But really, I had this notion that I could be successful anywhere. And it didn't matter. I was going to be an overachiever. I was going to move through the ranks, not out of ego, but just out of that. That's what I thought. And I had the confidence in myself, and I worked somewhere where I learned I cannot be successful everywhere. And I was not successful there. If I can't be creative, if I can't have room to fail and a soft landing, I'm not going to be successful. And because I have that now, I'm able to offer that to my team, which I couldn't do at the time, which also
Wow.
sort of handcuffed me. But now I'm like, experiment, try new things. Like, let's try this CTV stuff. Let's try some of this new AI stuff. Let's see how we do. And we will not spectacularly fail. And even if we do, there will be no repercussions for that. And like, to have that freedom to make mistakes, I think is a big one. But more importantly, to learn that I have to have a certain environment in order to thrive was the most pivotal moment of my career. And I'm grateful that I joined this company to learn that, because it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't 20 years ago, you know. But I did learn it, and now I understand that when I'm looking for a company, um, they're looking for me, but I'm looking for them too. And I need to ask the right questions to ensure I end up in a place where I can grow and thrive.
Wow, that definitely resonates with me a lot, and I think it probably will with a lot of the audience. I've certainly been there in my career, and I love that you kind of had that confidence in yourself to be like, I will, through my effort, through my determination, what I can control, I can succeed at any and all situations, which I think is a great mentality, and I think I definitely identify with it. But I've been there before as well, and I feel like what a great learning to be like, hey, I need kind of minimum viable things from the environment so that
Exactly.
I'm doing my best work, I'm being successful, I'm being the best employee, I'm being the best colleague, et cetera, best manager. So
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Very
Thanks.
cool. Very cool. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but maybe drilling down a touch, like when things do get tough, what kind of keeps you going?
Um, I would have to say, without a doubt, it's my team. I have a very, very talented team that I've learned some things about management since taking over this team. One is the leader controls the weather. So just because I'm discouraged and disappointed in something, or I've had a bad meeting, like, I don't have to bring that to the team. Like, I can show up. But when I do have those days and when I do have those meetings, and the team now, after 5 years of being together, 6 years of being together, can read me, they will encourage me. They will say, you know what, you're a great leader. You're great at this. I'm learning from you. And they pick me back up. But I owe it to them to be a strong leader, because that is my job. And so I need to be able to push back and say no. I need to be able to regulate my emotions and my feelings when I'm having bad days or bad moments. But the team has really been my driver. Like, I want us to win as a team. I want everyone on the team to be successful, because they are honestly, like, brilliant marketers. So that's what keeps me going, I would say.
I love it. Great reminder to leaders everywhere and managers everywhere. It's such an important responsibility and one that we're grateful to have. But sometimes you have to check, good all the different ways. I certainly know what you're referencing. I think it's a great reminder.
Yeah.
Um, you've obviously had some great influences in your career, some great progression, and risen to such a great height with CMO and a great company. What are some kind of mentors or career influence that maybe you want to share to the audience? Perhaps some of the counsel you've received over the years.
Sure. I've had a number of people who have helped me along the way, including Bill McCadis, who is a becoming a very well-known B2B influencer himself. Melissa Feemster, who used to be head of marketing at Rakuten when I worked there, and now is the owner of an agency that she started called Team Bespoke. Kate Castle is the CMO over Silversmith, an investment portfolio company. And then Mike Volpe, who's had a number of really impressive roles over his career, but he is the ex-CMO of HubSpot, which is a company that I follow. So what I've noticed, I've gotten different feedback from all of them, but what I've noticed about them is how incredibly assertive they are. And that's something that I needed to work on. Short, succinct, assertive directness, not in my nature. It's definitely something that I had to learn. But they also have this perseverance, and they've taught me that you need to endorse yourself, because nobody is going to be fighting for you if you don't fight for yourself. And so obviously that's a fine line, right? But I've learned how to do that, how to be more assertive, and how to persevere through hard times because of these figures, these mentors that have been in my life. So I do try to pass that along and teach, especially women, how to endorse for themselves. I think we occasionally try to downplay what we do, or we don't want our light to shine too bright, or however we downplay the accomplishments. So I'm hopefully doing and teaching other people to do what I was taught how to do, which I think just doesn't come naturally to some people. So
Yeah, beautifully said.
yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, and kind of shine that light for other female leaders and marketers and aspiring VPs and CMOs, and just people in general. I think there's such a great need to sometimes know when to elevate your voice, sometimes know when to show work and illustrate that value. I love what you said earlier about kind of like that internal PR game. Like some people are masters at it, some people are not, and it's a really cool call out to those folks that really influenced you positively. It's an all-star cast.
I agree.
Moving down the home stretch, having some fun, keeping it light. What's an item you bought that you're just like obsessed with? You want to share with the crew?
Yeah. I am obsessed with sample sales, and in New York City, the way that they work are certain brands don't discount their clothes, and they don't want to discount their clothes. So they end up with extra inventory, and then what do they do with it? So they bring it to New York to these companies that put on these sample sales. And most recently, I was invited to a Christian Louboutin sample sale. And I've never owned a pair of Louboutins because I just can't spend the money on myself. Like it just kind of bothers me. I also like to buy things that are like pre-owned sometimes. I don't know, it makes me feel better. But I ended up buying these shoes for such a steal that I'm obsessed with them. And now everyone who sees them, I'm like, I got them for $200, but I just have to tell the world about these sample sales. Yeah.
You have to be in New York to take advantage of the sample sales.
You do. They do occasionally exist in other markets, but New York is well known for them.
You're in New York. You've earned it. You're a local. You're in the heart of fashion. You gotta take advantage. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's expensive enough to live here. You may as well get a discount somewhere, right? I mean,
give me a break somewhere.
Give me a break. Yeah.
Gosh, it's a great city, but it is expensive. But I feel like everything is now.
Yes.
What's something, Cristy? It's a random fact that maybe folks don't know about you.
They may notice because I may stare at them, but I study body language quite a bit. And I learned how to read body language just by reading articles and talking to people who knew how to do it. But there's some obvious tips I can give, like don't cross your arms, when you're talking to someone, mirror them, maintain eye contact. But the best one that I learned is like, look at their feet. When you're talking to someone, you look at their feet and you see which direction their foot is pointed. If it's toward the door, they are trying to exit the conversation. If it's pointing in a certain direction, that's where they want to walk. And it's subconscious. People don't know that they're doing it. So in addition to eye contact and mirroring behavior and all of that, like check out their feet and see if they want to be talking to you or whether they want to end the conversation.
I'm laughing because I'm like thinking back to examples of that is such a fascinating thing. Like psychology and nonverbal communication is super interesting. I'm literally thinking back to a conversation I had, might have been an IPX, where someone physically started backing up while I was speaking.
Oh no.
It was like, it was like, but yeah, I I also feel like it's someone that like we've talked, we've known each other for a long time. I was taking kind of a risk in the conversation, just oversharing a little, and
Yeah.
it wasn't like anything terrible. But like you, I was like, "Oh, I see what you're doing. I'm
Yeah.
gonna reel it
Yeah.
back a little bit,
Yeah.
just a touch." And it wasn't like I was saying anything outrageous, but that is such a good call. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It is important. And you can tell people who can't read a room, right? And you never want to be one of
Mm.
those people. So I think it's very important to pay attention to other people's body language, and how you enter a room is really important.
Now I'm gonna be really cognizant of that when I'm around you. I'm gonna be like, what do I do
I'll
with my
watch your
hands?
feet.
Do I my feet? Do I put my hands in my pocket?
Yeah. No, it's a fun skill, and I need to continue learning it. So
Wow. Maybe we can teach others this superpower that you have. Maybe this is your next career.
maybe could be.
I love it. That's cool and super interesting. Um, Cristy, thank you so much. You dropped some really awesome information, your career journey, some fun personal stuff, and it's always a pleasure. We always have good chats, and I think the audience is gonna love it and appreciate it. So thank you for coming on. It was fun.
Well, thank you for being such a gracious host. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed being with you, Ty.
always. And Cristy, for those that don't know you or want to connect and learn more, where can folks follow you and reach out?
I'm big on LinkedIn, not popular on LinkedIn. I mean, like big, like a
You're kind of
junkie.
a big deal. Kind of a big deal.
I'm a big deal in Asia, actually. No, I'm not. So I am on LinkedIn, and my name is Cristy Ebert Garcia, but it's very important to note that the first name is spelled Cristy, because no one ever gets it right and adds an H. So look me up. If you message me, I will respond, and mention this podcast, please, and that would be great.
Amazing. Well, so cool to chat with you, and I'm sure I'll see you again very soon.
I hope so, Ty. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.